Hello, my friends, and today is a full day of cooking. I've been putting this off, but I have dedicated today to cook my honey off. Woohoo! So guess what we're doing? Freezer meals. I'm excited about this. I love doing freezer meals. I love it. It is time consuming, but if you will just block off a few hours out of a free day and do this, your belly, your freezer, your husband, your wife, your significant other will praise you. Praise you. And I praise myself for this. So we are going to get everything set up and start this day of cooking. I will show you what we're going to do today. I'm going to put on my apron because it's an apron day, and I'll be right back. A lot of these recipes that I'm going to do, I got from Taste of Home. I'm not going to list every recipe down in the description box. I will link the website that I got these off of. And you can go there and print them off yourself or see them. Some I've done before. Well, I know one that I've done before in a previous freezer cooking video, and I'm going to need to put my phone on silent. It won't keep going off. And if I have time, I'm going to do some makeup ones. Well, they're not really made up. I've done them before, but it's kind of like you can kind of tweak it here and there. What you got, it don't matter. It's going to taste good. So I've got my recipes here. I have got dish towels sitting out. I'm just getting everything ready to go. I clean up messes with dish towels because it gets messy when you're doing freezer meals. And I was just folding this one, and this was my mother's. Can you tell? It's like 1970s. This is an old one from that I had of my mother's that I use. So I got those out. I got my casserole dishes out, my cutting boards clean, ready to go, and hold on. I laid meat out last night. Well, I put it in my refrigerator last night to be thawing, and we're going to get this started. Y'all, I tried to, since I got my hair cut, I don't like it. I don't know what to do with it. So I thought I'd put like waves in it like I used to do when my hair was longer, and I'd put it up in a bun, or I'd wear it down with waves, and it would, that's what it did. And so I tucked it behind my ears to kind of calm it down. So if you see this come untucked from behind my ears and you see a big poof ball or something, ignore it. Ignore it. All right, let me see. I am going to, we're not going to do, I'm trying to see what we're going to do. We're going to do this first. This is a chicken tortilla bake. I always, when I'm doing a freezer meal, I do some sort of Mexican. We love Mexican casseroles. We don't go and eat at Mexican restaurants much at all. I got myself burned out on those years ago. But I love a good Mexican casserole type. And it's not true Mexican, okay? But we do love those. So I'm going to start out with a chicken tortilla bake. Let me get everything here and we'll get started. I was just kidding. We're not going to do that one first. Got to cook the chicken, so I've got it under boil. We're going to do this one. This is like a cabbage sausage stir fry type thing. I saw this just yesterday or the day before on the YouTube channel. I think it's Living Traditions Homestead. And she did this recipe, and I thought, that looks good. We would enjoy that. So, I had stuff to do it. So, we're going to do it. And cooked cabbage freezes good, and so this will be an awesome freezer meal that's just going to be thaw and reheat and serve. So let me get my cabbage. Cabbage. Onion. Okay, so I'm going to bring you down here. And, oh, there was a thing I was going to show you. This is some sausage that I got from Costco. It's the chicken and apple sausage that there's no artificial ingredients. The chicken has no antibiotics, no nitrates, no nitrites. It's very clean. Very clean sausage, but you can use whatever sausage you like. You can do a kielbasa, you can do a Italian sausage, you can do smoked sausage, whatever kind of length you like. And I'll bring you down here. We're going to get this cut up. Can you see good? Can you see good? So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lengths. Her recipe was a half of a cabbage head and this many sausages, but I'm going to do a whole cabbage head. So we may have this for supper tonight, and then I'll have one to freeze. Dangerous with a knife. But I thought this would be good because it's got apple in it. I think that it would pair well with the cabbage. Come on. Okay. So I am going to like slice it on a diagonal. So you get like that. That's how she did it, and that's how I would do it too anyway, but she did that. So I'm going to get these all sliced up. It smells good. So I will get these sliced up, and then I will bring you back. Okay, I ended up doing 7 instead of all 10, because that's a lot of meat. That's a lot of meat. And I've got pot over here. I just put a drizzle of olive oil in the bottom, and we're going to put these in and let them brown. Sausage run away. We're going to let these brown up. I'm going to wash my cutting board real good. I wasn't thinking, I don't normally cut meat on my wooden chopping block, so let me go and get it scrubbed up before to start souping in the wood. Okay, and the brown stuff that's on the bottom, you can see that. Don't be afraid of that. That's flavor. I turned it down some. That gives this dish a lot of flavor. So don't think you're just like burning it up, because you're not. And you can scrape and see that it comes up. Alright, I'm going to leave it alone. Quit stirring it. Quit stirring it. Leave it alone. Let it brown. Don't do what I just did. Don't cut any kind of meat. Even though that's pre-cooked sausage, I don't like to cook meat on my wooden cutting board. So I gave it a really good scrubbing and dried it off some. So we're going to cut up the cabbage. And I usually where the stem is, I just kind of cut and force around it. cut down to where the core is. Oh, I need to save that for my piggy. Okay, the sausage is done, and I put a little bit more olive oil in the bottom of my pan, and now I'm going to add 1 onion. I went ahead and pre-chopped some onions, and I'm just going to eyeball, well, this is 2 onions, so it'd probably be like half. And these are some purple and white onions mixed. Okay. Now I'm going to sprinkle a little salt on there to help sweat out the onion. And then we're going to add our big bowl of cabbage. It looks like a lot of cabbage, but you know, it sweats down a lot. Turn it down. And we're just going to keep an eye on this and let it sweat down and do its business. I got my chicken in here boiling. It ain't done yet. I should have did that first thing this morning. Okay. Okay, so while the cabbage is over there doing its thing, we're going to move on to another recipe. And this one is Korean beef and rice. Heads up, I'm not going to put the rice in it. I will just, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Okay, so I am going to use my canned ground beef in this. Yeah, canned ground beef. Hold on, let me find my thing. So, costs for I'm thinking about doubling it. I think I'm going to double it. Yeah, I'm going to double it. Yes. Okay. Got my ground beef. So we're going to find out how this does. Oh my gosh, y'all, it smells like ground beef. I'm going to do 2 of these. And I'm not draining it to get the fat off. If you're worried about the fat, you can just put this in a colander and run hot water over it and get the fat off of it. Okay, so 2 pounds of ground beef. Let me check on my... Okay. Make sure nothing was burning on the bottom. 3 cloves of garlic. If you've been with me for any time, you know that I like to use the already minced garlic, although I've got several heads here. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Come on. Okay. Okay, recipe calls for 3 garlic cloves. I am going to do 6. So 1 garlic clove, I usually do a teaspoon. And then a 1/4 cup packed brown sugar. We're going to do a half. we'll have to be making me some more brown sugar. That's 1/4. And I may not do a whole half because some of these recipes, they're really sweet. I think I'm going to do a 1/4 and 1/8. Okay, 1/4 cup of reduced sodium soy sauce. I've already got something all over my recipe. I'm using liquid aminos. Okay, so I need a 1/2 cup. If you've never tried the liquid aminos, it's a soy protein seasoning. It tastes just like soy sauce, but it doesn't have the gluten in it. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I just like it better. It's just not as, you can buy the low sodium, but even to me, the low sodium is salty, and this just is not as salty. Okay, we're going to do a 1/2 cup of that, but you use what you want. 4 teaspoons, which would be a tablespoon of sesame seed oil. A 1/4 teaspoon of, well, 1/4 would be 1/2. I gotta remember to double. So 1/2 teaspoon of ginger powder. 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. I use Korean red pepper, which is gochugaru. I can't remember the name of it, but it's not as hot. That was a 1/2. I need a 4, so that's good. Because we're not really big, real spicy. We're not real big spicy people. I just threw something. I threw my black pepper. It slipped out of my hands. Okay, so now we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. There you go. There you go. No salt, I guess because of the seasoning salt. Now we're just going to give this a mixeroo. Smells good. And then, let's see. Wow, I even doubled the recipe. It didn't make that much. I would at least double the recipe, guys. Okay, so everything in here is cooked. The ground beef is already cooked because I canned it. And then it just had sauces and seasonings in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in freezer bags. I'm going to do 1/2 and 1/2. And so what you do is when you're ready to eat it, lay your bag out in your refrigerator the night before. And I had bought some frozen cauliflower rice. It was cauliflower fried rice from Costco. And I will just heat that up, and we'll put this on it, and I'll heat this up and heat up the cauliflower rice, and then maybe cut up some spring onions on it, and we'll have it that way. Okay, so I'm going to get these put in freezer bags. Okay, I put this in a bag. I mean, and that's all of it. So I'm glad I doubled that recipe. Okay, so I just wrote on here That's Korean beef to heat and serve with rice. I mean, I don't think that word like big pigs. We'll have some of it left over, but I think half the recipe would be like, where's the beef? Okay. Look, already one down and another one's about to come off. All right, let's go check on our, okay, our cabbage has wilted down. All that brown stuff is from the bottom, which I told you for its flavor. I'm going to add back in the sausages. And it smells good. All right, I'm going to take it off the eye. Woo, hot. And let it cool. And then we will, I'm trying to decide what we're going to have for supper tonight. It's going to be one of these dishes. I was leaning towards this. I may still stick to that, but I got some more to go, and they may look good too. Let's see. Chicken's almost done. All right, back to the drawing board. I'm cleaning up my mess here, and I was washing this knife this morning. I was at the sink, and I had my dishcloth, and I was washing it because it was dirty from last night. I knew I'd be using it today, and my husband was getting ready to leave, and he said something about, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I had my dishcloth, and I'm at the sink over here. I'm doing this. I said, I'm sharpening my knife. He says, what are you sharpening your knife for? I said, I want to take care of you. And he said, well, why don't you go ahead and do it before I get my day started? I said, oh no. I said, you need to be seen. I said, people will start wondering where you are if you're not out during the daytime. I said, I'm saving this for tonight. Anyway, ha ha ha, and he left. And anyway, when he left, I was like, where did that come from? And I realized I've been reading Patricia Cromwell's Scarpetta, Dr. Scarpetta series, which is murder mysteries. And I thought, that's where I'm getting that from. I'm not crazy. But anyway, the reason why I started reading that series is because I had saw that Amazon is going to be making a series on Amazon Prime. And that Nicole Kidman and Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be in it. So anyway, I saw that and I thought, ooh, I've never read those books. Let me read those. Anyway, I'm on the third book and they are so good. They're really good. Dr. Scarpetta is the chief medical examiner and in Virginia. And there's just, each book is a different murder mystery, and it's so good if you haven't read those. Anyway, I thought that was a funny story about the knife this morning. He wasn't scared at all. Okay, we're ready for the next one. The next one is steak San Marino. Ooh, sounds fancy, but it's not. Okay, it's basically a pot roast, but it sounds fancy. Okay, so in here I have chopped 1 rib of celery, 2 carrots, and I kind of thickly chopped them because this is a slow cooker freezer meal. What is under there? Okay. And this recipe calls for 1 beef top round roast, 1 to 1.5 pounds. I got a London broil, which is basically the same thing. So in this, it says cut it into 6 pieces. Two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, this is a bag that I wrote Korean beef on there that I ended up just putting it in one bag. So this is going to go in here, and I'm keeping it separate from the other things. The reason why is you have to flour and salt and pepper the beef before you put it in the crock pot. So I'm going to do that prior to putting it in the crock pot. So we're just going to seal this up, get as much of the air out as possible, and we're going to set it to the side. And we're going to get my meat mat out of the way. Okay, let me wash my hands. I got beef sticky. Okay. Now we're going to do the rest of the recipe. Alright, I got my carrots, I got my celery. Need a can of 8 ounces of tomato sauce, and this is basically a pantry challenge for me. I don't have tomato sauce, and I've only got this big can of crushed tomatoes, so we're going to use this. This is 28 ounces. I need 8 ounces. So, I'm going to do a cup. And I will do something with that a little later. Okay, now we need 2 garlic cloves. There it is. Minced. Bay leaf, I'll get that in a minute. 1 teaspoon of Italian seasonings. And a half a teaspoon of Worcestershire. There's a snake, it'll bit me. Then a half a teaspoon. Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit heavier than a half a teaspoon. That's barely any flavor. I'm going to give this a stir. And then I'm going to get a bay leaf. So see, how, I mean, this is like so simple. Okay. Then I'm going to put this in my freezer bag. Then I got my bay leaves out, and I'm just going to pop one in the bag. These are so tiny. It's almost like bits and pieces. Not much. Then my steak, I'm going to put it in here with it. Then I wrote all the instructions on here. I've got tossed meat and a 1/4 cup of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Add to crock pot. Low, 7 to 9 hours. Dang, look at that. We got 3 down. Okay, I just want to show you. I took the chicken out to cool. It's hot, hot. But in my pot, with the water that the chicken cooked in one of the recipes, it calls for pasta. So I'm going to cook my pasta in this flavored chicken broth. And I just, okay, moving right along. Kind of crooked. I've got the noodles boiling. I've got my chicken kind of shredded up and cooling. What I have done, we're going to make now, is Asian chicken thighs. I have got 4 pretty big boneless, skinless chicken thighs in my skillet with a little olive oil, and we're just browning those up. So, y'all help me remember that. Like you can. I don't know. Okay, so I got my little measuring bowl here, and we are going to do 5 in the bowl. Let me bring it down. 5 tablespoons of olive oil. Oops. This does not come out very fast. Do 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 do. Alright, that's going to be good enough because I'm frustrated with how slow that's coming out. Anyway, recipe calls for 5 tablespoons. 1/3 cup of water. And 2 tablespoons of OJ. Two. I'm gonna fix me a cup of that. I haven't had any OJ in a long time, and I haven't had any breakfast. Okay, and then 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I didn't do that pack. Like I said, a lot of these Asian dishes are pretty sweet. Let me go check on my chicken. Okay, 2 tablespoons of ketchup. One, 2. This is that Portland ketchup that I get from Azure Standard that I just really love, and I'm a Heinz girl through and through. Okay, 1 tablespoon. It calls for white vinegar, but I'm going to use apple cider vinegar. Four cloves of garlic minced. Half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes going in with the Korean again. Calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of Chinese spice powder. I don't have that. Okay, let me mix this up. smell everything. Okay, when my chicken gets all browned up, we will continue with this. Okay, we're over here with the chicken, and it looks brown. This one don't. It's cooked. Okay, so we're going to pour our mixture that we just whipped up. I'm going to turn it down some over the chicken. And then I have a lid for this, but I got this big one. I'm going to turn it down, and we're just going to let this simmer away until the chicken gets tender. Okay, sorry about that. I forgot that I needed to, I'm using my canned ground beef again. And I needed my onions sauteed, so I went ahead, and this is 2 pint jars of ground beef. It's probably about 1.5 pounds. The recipe calls for 1 pound, but I knew that 1 pint wouldn't quite be 1 pound, so I opened up another pint. So I've got the ground beef, and I browned it with some onion. Just gonna put it over there. Okay, bring it down. Got this big old huge mixing bowl out because my stainless steel one has got chicken in it cooling. Alright, so I have got 1 pound of medium shells that are cooked. And they're still steaming hot. Okay, and I need 3 cups of I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil in there because it's kind of sticking. Get it broke up more. Okay, and then I'm going to need 3 cups of mozzarella. I thought I had some block mozzarella, but I do have a bag. Ooh. 3 cups of mozzarella and 3 cups of cottage cheese. This is low-fat cottage cheese. What do I do with my cup? Oh, I just dropped my cheese. Okay, 3 cups of cottage cheese. And then 2 large eggs, beaten. If you don't like the texture of cottage cheese, you don't like the curds and all that, you can use ricotta cheese. And then I need, how much of this? I need 1/3 cup grated parm. And we're just going to eyeball this. Okay. Then I'm going to add some pepper. And just a little bit of salt, maybe 1/2 teaspoon, because, you know, cheese is salty. mix this up. Alright, we're going to start out, let me maneuver all this. I'm going to use these little, I think they're 8x8s or 9x9s. Put this. Okay, there's one. Gosh, got such a mess. Two. This is bigger than what like a 9x12 would hold, I believe. Let me get another. I'll use that one. I'll use this one. Okay. I would add some dried parsley. I don't know where my dried parsley is, but I do have some freeze-dried kale, and I'm just putting this on here for some greenery. A little veg. Okay. Then I'm going to third the beef. Spread it out. And then I've just got some Rayo's spaghetti sauce. Ugh! That I can't open. Get my handy dandy peppered chef jar opener. And we're just going to sprinkle this on top. You use whatever kind of spaghetti, marinara. I usually have homemade, and I think I've used the last of it. Okay. We'll spread that out somewhat evenly. Okay, does it say to top it with cheese? Let's just look at our recipe and see. Yes. It does. Put a little because there's a ton in the pasta. Okay. And voila, 3 dishes done. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, we're moving on to the next one, and that is a chicken tortilla bake. This looks good. The only thing I'm doing different on this one is it calls for corn tortillas. And I'm going to be using flour tortillas, and I'm using the carb counter ones to make it a little bit more figure friendly. So, in the bowl here, we need 3 cups of chicken. And I'm just kind of tearing it apart. Alright, 3 cups chicken, 2 cans of green chilies, 1 cup of chicken broth. I'm using my home canned. You can use whatever you have. You can use just a can of it from the grocery store. Measuring cups. So 1 cup chicken stock, chicken broth, whatever you want. And then I need 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. I've never had cream of soups in a Mexican casserole, but okay, 1 can of cream of mushroom, 1 can of cream of chicken, one small onion, finely chopped. That's a big piece. We'll go with that. Okay. Okay. Well, this is easy enough. That's the mixture. I may need to put a little salt and pepper. Where's the salt? Where's the salt? Here's salty, salty. Maybe about a ½ teaspoon. All right. Set this over here. Got such a mess, guys. Yeah. So we're going to do this one in the big casserole dish, because we always like Mexican casseroles, eat it that night, and they're so good warmed up the next day. What'd I do with my, okay. We're going to do layer half the tortillas in a greased 13 by 9. Wait a minute, how many tortillas does it say? 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do 1. I think it'll be plenty. 2, 3. I'll tear it. 4. Top with half of the chicken mixture. Okay, and then, oh, I need cheese. 2 cups. This is a Colby Jack cheese that I pre-shredded. And we're going to put some cheese. I really should be putting a cup. I'm just sitting here eyeballing. A little bit more in the middle. Okay. And repeat. Okay, and the other half. It's raining here today. We've had some beautiful weather though. It's giving me spring fever. We got 80 degrees one day. It gets pretty warm, it rains. It gets pretty warm, it rains. Okay, and then top with cheese. I ain't gonna lie, I think this is gonna be delish. And look at there, just like that, we have another freezer meal. Voila! Now the recipe does call for some cornstarch to thicken up the sauce. I'm not going to do that yet. If I need it when I cook it, then we will play ball and put some in. This is going to be yum yum. And this is perfect for me and my husband. 2 little chicken thighs in the sauce. I'll probably, of course I had to fix a veg with it. Some rice. But that's a serving size. If you got more to feed, I would double or triple. I need a spatula. I would double or triple this for sure. The recipe actually called for 5 chicken thighs, not breasts. 5 chicken thighs, but I didn't have 5. And they were pretty good size ones, raw. So I just did the 4. Oh, I didn't write on the bag. That's okay, it's got to sit out here and cool off. Set that over there. We are getting it. We are getting it. Okay, tortilla bake, done. What do we got left? Asian chicken thighs, done. All right. This, if you watched another one of my freezer meals, I did this one before and we enjoyed it so much that I said I was going to make it again. And it's called the Cracked Out Chicken Tater Tot Casserole. We really did like this, so I'm going to do it again. Okay, this tater tot casserole is super easy, super yummy. I really think that you'll enjoy it. Hold on, my camera is there. Okay, okay. So we have got our cooked chicken again. And we need 3 cups. So I'm just going to do the same thing that I did. Just kind of tear this into the bowl. Okay, I'm going to bring you down. Okay, so here we go. Chicken. Okay, so to this, we're going to add 16 ounces of sour cream. This is the last of my Nancy's that I got from Azure. I'm going to have to do another order. Okay, 16 ounces sour cream. 1 can of cream of chicken soup. I just rinsed this bowl. I wiped it out. I didn't even rinse it. I just wiped it out from the chicken casserole I did before. I've already dirtied up so many dishes. 1 packet of dry ranch seasoning. And, oh, hang on. I needed some chopped bacon, and I had some in the fridge, pre-cooked. Open it up. Recipe calls for 1 cup. Good stuff. That wasn't quite a cup, but it'll do. Let me get something bigger than this. Just mix all this together. I'm gonna need a bigger bowl. Okay, I just rinsed out that bowl that the chicken was in. Okay, then we need 2 cups of cheese. We'll just go for it. Okay, and then we need, this is 32 ounces. We need 30 to 32 ounces of tater tots. And we'll mix that. Okay, we got it all mixed up. And let me give that a spray. On this one, you'll take it out. You can cook this one frozen too. It just takes a long time, longer time. But no, you want to cook this one from frozen because you don't want the tater tots to get soggy. You do cook this one from frozen. You just cook it like 350 degrees, and it's probably going to take about an hour, 15 minutes. You just have to keep checking it. I can't remember how long I cooked it, but I did cook this from frozen. If you want to thaw it out, you can. I don't know how the tater tots would be, because you don't normally like thaw out tater tots before you cook them. Okay. that one. And then I'm going to get a smaller. But this is delicious. It's so good. Is it healthy? Yep. Okay, look there. Got 2 down. Two out of this recipe. And really, I think it would be just almost too big in a regular size casserole pan. But anyway, split it for 2. We have 2 meals out of it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, we're going to make this. It's called an easy make-ahead breakfast casserole. And what I've got in this pan is I got 2 pounds of breakfast sausage that I have just crumbled and cooked. I've got the eye heating up again. Now the recipe calls for 1 pound of sausage. But I did 2 because that's how I roll. Okay, so to this we need enough. It calls for 3/4 of a cup of chopped onion and 2 cups of chopped bell pepper. So I just bought this, the peppers and onions blend, which is just peppers and onions. So I'm going to use this. I have peppers and onions, but I figured it might be a little bit easier. Oh, and I do need, it calls for some garlic. I think it calls for a teaspoon of minced garlic, but 2 cloves of garlic, but I don't know how, if I'm going to like garlic in a breakfast casserole, so I'm just going to do 1. Then I'm going to add, okay, so it calls for 2 cups of chopped bell peppers, 3/4 cup of onion, and I'm just kind of eyeballing. And we want to get this all sauteed up together. And then also we need to add 1 cup of sliced mushrooms. That's probably more than a cup, but you know. And then we need 1 cup of chopped spinach. I'm using frozen chopped spinach. I like it when we get some veg in a breakfast casserole, where it's not just like bread, sausage, and cheese. Egg. Okay, so we're going to get this all sauteed up. Get those mushrooms and onions cooked down. Let me make sure there's nothing else I need. Onions, garlic, peppers, mushrooms, spinach. Cook everything until it's slightly softened. So, okay, I'll bring you back when this is all slightly softened. Okay, a little bit. I'm not cut off. We have, that has gotten all soft and yummy and stuff like that. And I am just cutting up, this is my no-knead bread that I'd gotten out of the oven. And I am just, let me scoot over here so you can see, cutting it in cubes and lining a baker with it. And if I hate to sound like a broken record on this bread. I know I've said it several times before, but it's so good. It's so easy. And I've made it a couple of times on here, and so I didn't show y'all how I make it, but there's a video I'll link below on how it's done. It calls for a crusty bread, so that's why I did this. So you just kind of want to loosely line it. Okay, I'm going to do this. This is going to be what I put in the freezer. Excuse me. I want to keep this in the freezer because a lot of times when family comes in town and stuff, it would just be so awesome just to have this already made up to make on a weekend morning when they're here. So I want to keep this in the freezer as a freezer meal, of course. And then I'm going to do a smaller one. And I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. The directions say that you should let it sit before you cook it. So put it in the refrigerator 24 hours before you serve it. Cook it, bake it, serve it. So this one's going to go in my refrigerator tomorrow, Saturday. So that'll be our Saturday morning breakfast. I'm out of my little small square bakers. I've used them all. I've got some already in the freezer, and then this. And that's one thing that I do. Okay, immature is sometimes when I cook a meal, you know, and it's a lot or I double it, I go ahead and stick half of it in a casserole and put it in the oven. In the freezer. So boom, there's a freezer meal. If you don't want to spend a day in the kitchen or several hours in the kitchen like this, that's an easy way to get your freezer stocked. Is when you cook, double it, put half of it in a casserole, and freeze it. Or in a freezer gallon bag. However you do it. And voila. That is the best bread ever. Okay, so here we go. Let me get my sausage mixture. Okay. Everything's softened up. If I can get a hold. Okay, so we're just going to spread this over. Evenly. Oh, that brick. Okay, the recipe, I've kind of made more than the recipe calls for because I did do 2 pounds of sausage instead of 1. And I feel like I put more mushrooms. And when I turned the camera off, I put another handful of mushrooms because they were, you know, shriveling down. So I think I've made more than what the recipe calls for, so that's why I'm able to do 2. The recipe calls for 12 eggs. I did 16 eggs. I used every egg I own. Okay, and then it calls for 2/3 cup of milk, or half and half. I'm using half and half. This is a 1/3 cup. 1, 2, and I'm gonna do 3. I should have just done a cup. I'm doing 3/3. It's a cup, ding-a-ling, and I've already put some salt and pepper in here to taste. Mix that up. And then it calls for a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. This is like a 3-year-old aged cheddar by Cabot that is very, very strong. So I'm not going to put quite a whole cup because it's very, very strong cheese. Okay. Alright, we're going to pour this over our casseroles. Ooh, that cheese is kind of clumped up right there. Okay. Now then, I am going to cover this up in plastic. This one right here, cover it up in plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator, and we'll cook it in the morning. Let me tell you what the directions are. Refrigerate up to 24 hours. When ready to bake, allow to sit at room temperature for 10 to 15 minutes as the oven preheats to 375. Bake the casserole uncovered until the top is golden, edges are crisp, and toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. About 40-45 minutes. This is a smaller one, so it probably won't take that long. Leftovers keep well in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. Yeah, I like that. Okay guys, here we go. We have got chicken lasagna casserole. 1, 2, 3 small ones of that. We have the chicken tortilla casserole, the Asian chicken thighs, the Korean beef. We got 2 of the tater tot chicken casseroles, the cracked out chicken tater tot casserole. We've got the steak San Marino, which sounds fancy. We have 2 of the breakfast casseroles, and then we have the cabbage, onion, and sausage that this definitely is going to be for supper tonight. Put the lid back on that. So, what do you guys think? I'm eating another piece of that crusty bread. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I hope that y'all saw some recipes you might want to try out. I'm excited to have these. I wish I had it in me. Do about 10 more, and then we'd be set for a while. But, alas, I do not. But this is great. I'll link below. I'll show here and here, or here and here. I don't know which side it is. Some other freezer meal videos that I've done. Be sure and check those out. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Give me a like. It means the world to me. And I will see my lovelies next time. Have a great day.